Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to the EarthtonesGirl Channel. My name is Denise and this is my space to share stuff with you. And I have a lot to share with you today. I am so happy to be back here with you. It's been a minute since I've been here, but there's been so much going on behind the scenes and we'll get to all of that in just a bit. How are you? As I said, welcome back. I haven't been here for a proper podcast episode since January. Which is terrible, but it's okay. It's okay. There is a new tutorial up on the channel though. That's one of the big things that's been going on. So yeah, let's just jump right into everything. So as I said, the Shadow Wrap Short Row Heel Q&A tutorial is now up here on the channel. That was released about, I want to say 2 weeks now. That's been up on the channel. Whew, there's a lot of information in that episode, in that class. I hope you all have enjoyed watching. There have been some amazing comments. Thank you so much to everybody who has left a comment, either under the video or sent me an email. It all makes it worth it. And as I said, there was a lot that went into that. And as I also said in that episode, and if you haven't watched the episode, the reason I called it a Shadow Wrap Short Row Heel Q&A is it just felt a little presumptuous to me to call it everything you ever wanted to know, because I don't know everything. So I wanted to share the information that I did know. And included in that tutorial is different variations on the heel for customizing for a high instep. There's also how to fix drop stitches, because I know that was a really big request, and also how to fix the little blip that happens when you do a contrasting heel. So there's quite a bit of information in there for you. And I hope that you find it helpful. So gosh, what else? Let's just take a breath. What else has been going on here? I feel like I need to breathe for a second. There's been a lot of knitting, but I feel like I haven't actually finished very much. Don't you hate that? Does anyone else ever experience that? You're knitting, 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 but you're not actually finishing anything. And I think I've broken one of my rules, so to speak. It's not a rule, it's just a personal rule of multiple projects at once. And I have, let me see, I'm counting behind the camera. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 sock whips going on right now. That's ridiculous. And I rarely do that. And I feel like, again, I've been knitting, but keep getting interrupted to do other things. And I'm just not finishing things. I have a lot of single socks finished, but not pairs. So, yeah, anyway. But one thing I did want to share is, a little bit of housekeeping and what's been going on behind the scenes. One thing, so the new tutorial is up, but what I've decided to do in particular on my website is make that space more of a central hub. Actually make it a central hub, because I don't feel like it was prior. Make that space a central hub for all things Earthtones Girl. So what does that mean? You can still shop there, of course. Progress keepers, enamel pins, patterns, etc. But I also want that to now be a main space for information. So I'm currently in the process of updating the website. I'm having a friend of mine, a very, very dear friend, is taking the time to stop and help me with that. And I'm so grateful. Julianne, if you're watching, so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my friend. And it's coming along. So when you go to the website now, you're going to see information on classes, on the tutorials, not classes, but on the tutorials with direct links to them. So it may be a little bit easier for you to find the tutorial that you're looking for. I get a lot of questions. Do you have a tutorial for this, that, or the next? So now you'll be able to go to the website and they're all there listed. Tutorials, No Fear Sock Knitting, it's under that heading. So you can go through, scan, find the tutorial you want, click on the link, and it takes you right back here to the YouTube channel. There's also KAL information, so knit-along information. So that's the other really big thing that's been going on. Today is Pi Day. It is March 14th. It's Friday. And the second annual I Love Books and Sock Knitting KAL is in progress. So I did post in the, now I used to call it the community board here on the channel. but I don't think it's called that anymore. I'm blanking on what it's now called, but I'm gonna put it here on the screen for you. But it's a place to share, as the community board is, it's a place to share information between podcast episodes. So I did share that the KAL was going on. For any of you that may have missed it, no worries. It started on March 1st and it will run until May 1st. So there's still plenty of time to join in. All of the details are there, and I will also link them under this video, and they are now also on my website. So you can go there. That way there's, again, as I said, there's one place for all the information. That way you're not jumping around. And I'm trying to do that because, again, I know a lot of people are not on Instagram anymore. People are leaving that platform and joining other platforms. And I just want to provide another resource for information. Something else that will be coming there, I'm thinking about possibly expanding with subscriptions and other things. So let me know what else you'd like to see on the website in terms of, again, that one-stop shopping for everything relating to me, an Earth Tones girl. So yeah, that I really wanted to get out and let you know. And again, I'll link to the website in the description box for you. So let's go back to the KAL. The KAL is happening, you guys. The I Love Books and Sock Knitting KAL is in full swing, and it's just been so much fun. It is running as it did last year on Instagram as well as in my Ravelry group. The Ravelry group is kind of running itself. I peek in every now and then just to see what's going on, making sure everybody's, behaving and being courteous and kind to one another. But I'm kind of letting that run itself. And if you've been here with me for a while, you know that I find the way the conversation, the chat threads run on Ravelry is just, it's so overwhelming. It's so hard to keep track of conversations because as people reply, you've got threads within threads and like chats within chats. And I just find it so challenging to keep up. And if people are talking a lot and active, and which is what you want, again, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So it kind of boils down to a choice of, all right, do I really want to sit here spending time really navigating this? Or do I really want to knit and be a little bit more interactive? So, it is happening on the Ravelry group. Again, for people that are not on Instagram or social media, it's hard to interact here in that capacity. You can ask questions and leave comments and I can, sort of chat back and forth with you, but it's not nearly as interactive as Instagram or the Ravelry group are. So again, having that other space to communicate. So I Love Books and Sock Knitting. Second annual. The goal is to knit socks and read books, consume books. And I think I used that word last year and it irritated somebody that, well, I don't consume books, but I'm going to use that term again. You are consuming, you're taking in the information, and I don't care how you do it, whether that is physical books, you're turning pages, it's on a Kindle, an e-reader, any kind of e-reader, audiobooks, which is my pretty much sole method of reading books right now. I'm doing a lot of air quotes, I realize that. But that's the main way that I take in my books. I consume my books, and I've been reading like crazy. We'll get to what I'm reading in just a second. So read as many books as you'd like, or as few as you'd like. Knit as many socks as you'd like, or as few as you'd like. It is a participatory KAL, so the goal is not how much you get done, it's how much you enjoy what you're doing. That's the whole goal. That's the goal with anything that I work on, anything that I do, host, share, etc. I just want people to enjoy what they're doing and just have fun. And share the books that you're reading right now. Let me know what you're reading. Any sock pattern is welcome. If you want to use my patterns, yay, all the better. But any sock pattern is welcome by any designer, any yarn weight that you want. SIPs are welcome. SIPs are socks in progress, SIPS, and BIPs are also welcome. I don't know if I've coined these little, what are they? What is it, an anagram when it's letters that stand for words? But anyway, I don't know if I've coined these or if they've been out there for a while. It really doesn't matter. But SIPs and my other one is BIPs, which are books in progress, are also welcome. So if you are currently knitting and reading something, just jump right on in. You don't have to sign. There's no forms to fill out. There's no way where to apply. It's just start knitting and sharing with me, with us, whether that's in the Ravelry group or on Instagram. I have been listening to, so I finished, what did I finish? Oh, I'm not sure if I talked about it in my last episode. You know what? Let's pause. I'm going to grab my notes on my books and I'll be right back. So the yarn that I wanted to kick off the KAL with is I Read Banned Books by Woolens and Nosh. She is the incredible dyer behind that colorway, which is this. Yes, that's the label. I tuck it into the center. And it comes with a mini, hold on, it comes with a little white mini, and that is the yarn. So yeah, I wind my yarn and then just always tuck the label inside so I know what it is and can refer to it later. But this is the colorway, and it has, I think this is 8 stripes, 8 repeats. Hold on, I'm counting right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's an 8 stripe repeat. And here is my first sock. You know, I'm going to throw this on a blocker so you can see it a little bit better, and then I'm going to talk about this because I'm so excited about this colorway. Again, is I Read Banned Books, and it's just so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous and so perfect, and my little kind of subtle way of fighting back. So here it is, all knit up and gorgeous and amazing. Look at that. It's beautiful. So I started, it doesn't matter which striping color you start with. I started with the green. That's just where I landed in the skein. And the repeat, so the repeat runs to right about here and then starts again. And here it is. And here is the heel that I've done. I talk about this heel in the tutorial. In the Shadow Wrap Short Row Heel Q&A tutorial. This is the Deep Shadow Heel by Isolde Teague. This is, oh my gosh, this heel is amazing. If you are looking for, now I've tried, I'm going to say a bunch of things at once. So Shadow Wrap Short Row Heel, it's a short row heel. Not always the greatest for people with a high instep because there's not a lot of stretch over the instep. Then I talked about, or I introduced or shared here on the channel about the mini heel flap adjustment. And I talk about all of this in that tutorial episode. So I'm not going to go into tremendous detail. That is a mini heel flap that you work before you work the actual short row heel. Now, again, gives you a little bit more room across the instep. This particular version, Isolde created this, and I apologize if I'm messing up her name. She created this through much trial and error, and she talks about this. She has a video tutorial for this heel. It's part of, hold on, it's part of her stripy print socks pattern, which is in her Knitworthy 8 collection, I believe. I'll link to that down below. I think you can buy it now as a freestanding pattern. It was part of her collection. Again, I'll put all that information in the description box. And what she has done here is the way she works the heel, and again, it's a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to go into tremendous detail, but the way that she's working the heel, you are increasing the number of stitches, which you then have to decrease out in this gusset in here. And that provides, I mean, you could even see it on the, or I don't know, I hope you can see it. There's so much more room in the instep. It's just absolutely amazing. So for this particular yarn, this is a Woolens and Nosh on the Targhee base. What I usually do, since it's a fingering weight, but it's a slightly plumper fingering weight. So what I usually do is drop down from 64 to 60 stitches, work the Shadow Wrap Short Row Heel, and then continue on. But every now and then, I'm not gonna lie, I do get a bit of pulling across the instep. It doesn't bother me. I just wear the socks anyway, but again, because I'm accommodating for the plumpness of the yarn, having this heel version really gives me a lot more room in the instep. And honestly, it's so fun to knit. I will say there are no triple stitches. It's really interesting. It's really a great Great pattern. And it is part of the shadow print socks pattern, but the tutorial is detailed enough that you can learn how to do it, which is what I did. I bought the pattern also because it just felt like the right thing to do. I did buy the pattern and I'm supporting Isolde, but the video tutorial does have a lot of information in it. And I know she says in that tutorial that she's thinking about doing a vanilla sock version of her pattern, including this heel. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if she's done it yet, but the fit is just, it's amazing. And I really do think that this is the answer for people with a high instep. And she also talks about, briefly about customizing it depending on, and you'll understand when you watch the video, but amazing. I go into a lot more detail about it in the Q&A episode, so take a look at that. Now, I read banned books. This is what I was kicking the KAL off with, and the book I had chosen to start the KAL with was Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. This past summer, I had read Fahrenheit 451. My daughter was reading it for high school. I had never read it. I said, of course, let's read it together. And there were some things in it she didn't understand, so we discussed it, and it was such an incredible book. Oh my gosh, and so relevant to today. So it seems like the trilogy, unofficial trilogy, is Fahrenheit 451, Brave New World, and 1984. So I've done 1984, I've done Fahrenheit, so Brave New World. You guys, I got about maybe 40 minutes, if that long, into it, and I couldn't listen to it. It's so incredibly dark and sinister, and the things that are talked about, the experiments, how they treat children, I'll leave it there, is just, it was too much for me. It was really, really too much for me. I could not listen, had to stop. It's now on the DNF list, did not finish, and it will stay there. Maybe I'll revisit it down the line a couple of years, I don't know, but right now, no thank you. Took it off. But I did find Mad Honey, and I'm gonna put a picture of Brave New World in here so that you could see how it kind of matched a little bit. But then I picked up, some people on Instagram were talking about Mad Honey, and that is by Jodi Picoult. Started that, my gosh, what, maybe 3 days ago? I think I have 4 hours left. It's 15 hours long. It is riveting. It's riveting. It does have some hard moments, and it's a not a controversial topic, but it's a topic. It's a hot topic, and can be triggering for some people. I don't personally like using that word, but it can be for some people. I love it. It is so good. It's beautifully written. It is rich in detail. Jodi Picoult did so much research on this to make this book relatable and understandable. It is just, oh my gosh. And I've read her in the past. I think I read Small Great Things. I know I read Small Great Things, which blew me away. My Sister's Keeper. And I don't know why I kind of forgot about her for a while, but I am now very much back and loving Mad Honey. So I will put a picture of Mad Honey here, and it just so happens that the colors still sort of match. So yay. I was like, oh my goodness, because one of the things for the KAL, it's not a requirement, not by any means, but getting I suggest to people that they match their yarn and their sock, either the yarn color or the pattern name or anything like that, to the cover of their book. And people they're running with this idea. I mean, it's so much fun to watch the scrappy socks and the patterns and everything. It's really, really, really amazing to see how creative people are being with the matching. It's so much fun. So yes, this is Brave New World. I read banned books by Woolens and Nosh. Did not like Brave New World. Currently reading Mad Honey. Loved it. So loving it. So there we go there. And my other book that I finished just before, I was kind of finishing it just before, just as the KAL started, was Here One Moment. And that's by Leanne Moriarty. So good. So good. So good. So good. Truth, I didn't like it when it first started. The premise of the book was kind of disturbing, but also made you pause and think, what would I do in that circumstance? If you've read the book, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you that haven't, I hope you are intrigued. By the end, I was so touched and moved and felt, I don't know how to describe it. Felt inspired, motivated to just get out and live and do more of what makes me happy. It was just such a great book. And I'll put a picture of that in here. But even though I had finished it just as the KAL started, I still wanted to knit a pair of socks in tribute. So here it is. This is my sock. And I will put a picture for you right here so you can see. I think I kind of maybe nailed it a little bit with the matching. And love it so much. Yes, this is a helical sock. Look at that. So much fun. This is a helical sock. And if you have been here for a little while, you may recognize this pattern. This is the Shorty Heel Tab Socks pattern by Forest Lane Co. It is a free pattern. She has lots of video tutorials that link within the pattern that are all here on YouTube. And I knit 4 pairs of these last year, pretty much for the KAL. Some for the KAL, some before and after. And I love it. It is such a great go-to pattern for shorty socks. It fits so well. This tab, I'd always wanted to learn how to do a shorty sock with a tab. This one. It's so good. It's so, so good. In the original pattern, she uses German short rows. I substituted shadow wrap short rows. Once you see the pattern, it's very easy to do. It's very easy to do that substitution. And as I said, I've knit 4 versions of this. They've all been different. This one, I included the helical striping. So I know I'm going to get the question, when are you doing your helical tutorial? That's my next one that will be here on the channel. So one thing I've really wanted to do for Earth Tones Girl is create a space designated for tutorial recording. Having to stop and set up and break down, it's a bit of a drag. It's a bit of a drag, to be honest. I also think it contributes to the reason why I'm not here more frequently, because I have to stop and set everything up in order to record. This whole setup right here is in my bedroom. So obviously I can't leave my camera up. So setting up and breaking down, there's times when I want to, but I'm like, ugh, I don't really feel like it. But what I did downstairs in my house was actually set up, and my husband helped me with this, and I'm so grateful to him. He helped me set up a place that's semi-permanent. So it's easy to break down if there's a family event or we need the space for a guest, or because it's also in a guest bedroom, but it can stay set up and I can stop and record whenever I want. So yay, so happy about that. So I'm thinking that will increase the tutorial frequency here on the channel, but this is going to be the next one. Helical sock knitting from start to finish. So not this pattern, let me be clear, I'm not doing this pattern. I will be using my No Fear Shorty socks pattern as the background pattern for this, and then I will walk you through the cast on, starting the second color, and I'm just doing it as a 2-color. Helical knitting can be done with 3 colors. It can be done with 4. I think kind of sky's the limit depending on how many stitches you have. So I will be doing it with 2 colors not a third color for the heel, but just as 1 color from either of the 2 main colors. I will be doing the heel in that color. It'll all make sense once the tutorial is done. What else did I want to say about that? Yeah, and then I'll branch off from there. But yes, a helical sock tutorial is coming. I've got some socks in progress, so I'm right at the perfect spot to do the tutorial. I'm umming a lot. I think I'm out of practice. So, oh, and this is also, I'm sort of double dipping with this. There is also Julianne Knitter, who wrote an amazing sock knitting book called Box of Socks. The book is now a year old. Congratulations, Julianne. And she's hosting this week the 1-week sock challenge, and it's been so much fun. So that challenge is to knit a pair of socks shorty, full length, texture, color, whatever you want in 1 week. So a pair in a week. So this is my first one, all done. Today is Friday. The KAL ends tomorrow at midnight. I've already started the second. Doesn't look like I'm very far, but it's a shorty. So I'm hoping to finish by midnight tomorrow, and I will share the finished pair in the next episode. So yeah, helical sock tutorial is up next. Yay, it's coming. So get your questions ready. If you want to ask any questions here that I can answer in the tutorial, please feel free to do that because that worked out great the last time. So excited. Oh, and the yarn, I didn't talk about the yarn. This is Vanilla Bean. The white is Vanilla Bean and the blue is Winter's Eve, and they are both by Legacy Fiber Arts. This colorway, it was a 10-gram mini that I had thrown in a bag of minis. I don't have a label. I don't have a maker, a name, nothing. It was just, I don't even know where it came from, to be honest. I've had it in the stash, pulled it out because it just happened to match the butterfly that's on the cover of the book. So I apologize about that. But yeah, so it's Legacy Fiber Arts is the yarn for this particular sock. And it's their, oh my gosh, it's their Steel Toes base, which is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend. So that is there. My goodness, we talked about the KAL, we talked about website, we talked about just about everything. Oh, and I do have an FO for you to share. I'm gonna pause and I'll share it in just a sec. So I did finish a new buddy. So as you see, my gnomes are right there. This is my February gnome. And here she is. Let's cross her legs, hang on. There she is. Isn't this the cutest ever? Oh my gosh, I can't love this anymore. There she is. Let's start with her tip of her hat and work our way down. This hat was knit on the bias, and I have to say it was a bit of a challenge. I haven't knit on the bias in years. So here she is with her tiny little nose and her beautiful beard and the pink. And can we just look at those socks for a second? Just look at those socks. Hold on, let's look at the heels. I mean, I can't handle the cuteness. I really, really can't. Ah! So she crosses her little legs. Let me see if I can do it on my hand. She crosses her legs just like that, and she sits right back there on my shelf. And I'm really hoping to zoom out a little bit here for you eventually, and there's an upper shelf up there that's a little bit empty, and I want the whole thing covered in gnomes. So I have to work on this is my February gnome, and I have to work on my March gnome, and the yarn is sitting right over there, but I've got time. This is also by Sarah Shira, who is Imagined Landscapes. This was a standalone pattern. It's the mini version of a mystery KAL that she did last September. So there is a bigger version of this. This is the mini, and this is Knock, G-N-O-C-K. So this is little Knock, and then there's big Knock. So adorable. So this particular pattern is someone to write, the mystery knit along happened last year, but the name of this pattern is Someone to Write Gnome About. And the yarn was actually a kit. This all came in a kit by Mustache Yarn. It is the mini gnome yarn kit. And I do believe the kits are still available on Mustache Yarn's website. So here she is. So much fun. And if you've knit a gnome before, they are quite addictive to knit. They knit up pretty quickly. This one took a little bit longer because there was a lot more detail with her. These were much, much faster. There was a little more detail with Knock, but totally worth the extra time and knitting. I was just about to say something. Oh, and if you're wondering, I stuffed her. She's stuffed with polyfill, just a polyfill that you would stuff like any stuffed toys, etc. But she's weighted, so the bottom of her down here is weighted with dried lentils. I just happen to have a box of them, like a container of them in my pantry, and I don't know, it just seemed perfect because it's still super duper squishy, but it's just the right weight and balance between the polyfill and the lentils. So that is my little girl. Let's put her back up here. Hang on and cross her. And there she is. There she is. There they are. I love them so, so much. So yes, I will be sharing in the next episode. I will share, hopefully I will have 2 pairs of socks to share with you finished. My March gnome. And anything else that's happening in my world, the knitting world, anything. It's a short episode, you guys, but I really, really wanted to get back in here with you all, reconnect, get going again. Hope you have all been well. Please share your comments down below. Let me know what's going on, what you're working on. Let's reconnect. This felt so good to be back here today. I'm so, so glad. I literally just stopped what I was doing and said, okay, I'm doing it right now. Doing it right now. Put the lipstick on, fluff my hair, change my shirt, and here I am. So again, hope you all enjoyed this episode. So good to be back here with you all. Any questions, leave them in the comment section under the description box. I will link to everything for you, and I will see you all again really, really soon. Thanks so much for joining me today and for sticking with me. I've got the best community here, and I'm so grateful for all of you. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.